Good evening, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is August the 24th, 2024. And today the topic is Go with God. Happy Saturday. Yes, happy Saturday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Friday. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. Yeah, man. Y'all may notice those that watching live that your girl is recording around almost 4:30 p.m. on a Saturday, y'all, and that is for a reason. Long story short, I was up early. Matter of fact, the time that I woke up has a lot of significance. I woke up around 4:02, and it frustrated me to no end. I was super duper frustrated with the time that I woke up this morning. I went to bed kind of frustrated because I had a lot of stuff on my mind, listening, talking to that business coach. Every time I thought that, it seemed like I just, but at the same time, I go and humble myself and say, okay, let me receive what he's saying. Let me do what I can, X, Y, and Z. And so, but before I went to bed, I definitely was praying. I was like, Lord, let me know what you want me to do, especially when it comes to this situation and what the learning coach is asking me. The business coach is asking me and things of that nature. And so went to bed with that. And knowing that today actually is the end of the 21 days of prayer and fasting for me and my family. So I was looking forward to that as well. And and temptation was high yesterday and whatnot for me to break the fast, everything like that. And so, I pushed through and everything like that. However, this morning, like I said, when I woke up at 4:02 and I started to look up things centered around 4:02, I was frustrated. When I went to the Strong's Concordance, the words that the Greek and the Hebrew um, said kind of made me think, like, it made me wonder, like, Lord, are you asking me to fast for me with this? I didn't write down those words right now because now I guess they're no longer significant. So I don't know if that just happened to frustrate me or what. But I'm just being honest that basically the words that I saw when I looked up 4:02 and the Strong's Concordance on the app that I'm using, um, the two words made me start thinking about that God was asking me to continue my fast or something like that. And I just was like, Lord, I just did 21 days. Now I didn't do food per se, but I did, fast significant things to me, so I'm just like, what? Continue to fast or what? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about all of that. And it's like, does this have something to do with what I was praying for last night? So I just went deeper. And um the verses that I'm going to share with you guys today, aside from one of them, were verses that stood out to me this morning when I went and Googled Bible 4:2 like I usually do. Um, and I was trying to see if those things went together somehow and if they were answering my questions about the things that I'm currently frustrated about. But after doing all of that this morning, ended up talking to my homeboy. Y'all know Kelvin already. Ended up talking to him about some of the things. And then as I got done talking to him, it was time for me to catch up with the therapist. Since we didn't do our Tuesday session, we did it today. And so after all of that, um, well, one, it was time for me to break the fast with the family. So we had planned to do communion, but we didn't have the elements. So we haven't done that yet, but we did talk about it. We were like, okay, so now technically it's the end of the fast. How did it go for everybody? X, Y, and Z. And so, NJ shared his part. I shared mine, and my husband shared his. Then me and husband had, a significant conversation and whatnot as well. And I thought that I was going to either just don't do the juice or something like that, because again, with me being super frustrated about everything that was on my heart and mind, um, I had received again those verses, but at the same time, I just was like all over the place. Um, but after all the things that I went through this morning, one, again, I humbled myself to receive what the learning coach was telling me. So, matter of fact, I guess might as well announce one of those things is that the actress Miracle Sims Instagram will be no more. Um, if you're looking for me on Instagram now, you can look for Cultivation Coach Miracle. So yeah, rebranding, guys. Cultivation Coach Miracle is where you guys can find me on Instagram now. Um, and yeah. So that's one thing of significance to share. So I humbled myself in that regard and was, I feel led to go forth with that. So that's one thing. And I was going to just rest because, you know, what my family and I plan on doing is going with the church tonight to see this movie that, one of the gentlemen, the leader of our band, actually is created all the music apparently in the movie that we're going to watch tonight. So we are going to participate in that. So I need to go get ready. But like I said, I was just going to rest or whatever. But then I'm just scrolling on YouTube and I'm noticing how much my playlist has changed. Or you know how when go to the home on YouTube and you can just scroll, like all of my stuff is like biblical stuff now, which is great. Like it's not a bad thing at all. Because again, with my 21 days of prayer, that was one of the things that I did, which was take in biblical content, stop watching like the random shows and all the random crap that I usually would watch, and fall asleep to and things like that. And so majority of all the videos on my feed right now are just biblical things. And so I'm scrolling. Then all of a sudden, one of these a video of this lady was sharing. I don't know her name. I did share the video on the God, Sex, and Love Instagram. Excuse me, on the God, Sex, and Love Facebook page. I don't remember her name or her channel name or anything like that. But it encouraged me to go forth with what the Lord had given me this morning. And so one of the things that maybe is a revelation for me is to not take stuff so personal. Because again, like I said, I was just really in my feelings about that number and everything like that. And I know we can't get caught up in that because again, the enemy can use anything as well, right? And so, but so when I receive a word, maybe it ain't always for me. And so I felt that conviction as I was listening to the young lady speak about obedience and things of that nature. And so after I finished her video, I decided to be obedient, right, and share with you guys what I have received this morning in the hopes that it will encourage you and inspire you wherever you are with whatever you got going on. So, and as I decided to do that, I got my journal and wrote down the date and everything like that. And that's when Go With God came into my heart and mind as the overall message of what I was receiving this morning. And so, yeah, y'all, go with God. Let's get into these verses, okay? The first verse that I felt led to write down this morning when I went to openbible.info and plugged in the phrase "Go with God," I only wrote down one of the verses, and it was this one. I like to put the resources on the screen for y'all. So openbible.info, where is it? It's somewhere, y'all. I'm sorry. Kind of weak right now too. My bad habits. I need to eat. Anyway, okay, there it is. Openbible.info. I plugged in the phrase "Go with God," and this is the verse that stood out to me to share. 2 Timothy 3:16. It says, "All scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness." So, yes, all scripture, friends. We can't pick and choose things of that nature. All scripture is God breathing and profitable for teaching. So, let me get into the verses that were standing out to me this morning. Like I said, I did not write down the Strong's Concordance information this go around. You can look that up if that's something you want to do. But the verses is something I did feel led to write down. So here are the verses that I came across with 402 this morning. Malachi 4:2 says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves from the stall." So this is good news, y'all. This is telling us that whoever is following God, whoever is, fearing God and things of that nature, will have healing and we can go forth and we can grow and things of that nature. And so you guys can go and read the other verses that have content centered around that as well. But it's pretty much Chuck. I believe the other verses are talking about if you're not walking in righteousness, and if you're not, what that's going to look like. But the verse that stood out to me is the 4:2, which is telling us that again, fearing the Lord and things of that nature is going to reap some good benefits. Is what I'm seeing here. So then we got First Peter 4:2, and it says that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of God. Now, this was a bit convicting this morning when I was reading it, because I was like, Lord, wait, because like I said, I was all over the place with again the things I was fasting and things of that nature. And I'm like, does this mean I need to, am I, being lustful? Am I, I'm just saying, taking all this in personally. But again, I think this may be a call for any of us, right? Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, that again, he is calling us to no longer live in the lust of the flesh and live in the flesh and the lust of men. Again, I mean, I feel like we've been talking about this over the past few weeks about how, again, God has taken us out of the miry, the mud, the muck and the mire and things of that nature. He's taken us from that. And so we no longer have to fall slave to those ideas and those things. And so again, let us be encouraged and inspired by that. This can be good news if you're open again to the will of God. I understand that it can be bad news and go through all kinds of turmoil like how I was going this morning if you're fighting against what the Lord is saying. So let's just keep that stuff in mind, okay? Here's another verse that was standing out to me this morning, and it was Psalm 4:2. It says, "O ye son of man, how long will ye turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing?" Salah. And so again, we don't have to turn God's glory into shame. Again, he's already set us free. He's already set us apart. You're already blessed and highly favored and everything else that the Bible tells us that we are. And so with that being said, I mean, again, he's asking, how long will we turn his glory into shame? Again, how long will we love vanity and seek after leasing? A lot of us is doing that. And matter of fact, again, when I was listening to the young lady earlier, she, was talking a lot about comparison and all these different things that we put before God, right? And that we you guys got to watch the video for yourself. But ultimately, what I'm here, I guess, to remind us of today is that, again, let's not put God to shame. He's already done what he's done for us and has set us free. And so we got to live in that, walk in that. And that's ultimately the juice this morning. I mean, I know that it's late and I know that, again, I was all over the place mentally myself that I could barely receive these words because I was just so engulfed in those other words. But ultimately, again, like that's the juice this morning. And so my go deeper section for you guys today is just to ask yourself the question, will you receive this message with an open heart and surrender to the Lord's will for your life? I am an example. I did that today. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I have been obedient to go forth with doing the juice, no matter what time it is or any of that. And again, laying down any of the ideas that I had this morning and any of the things, the selfish thoughts of just thinking only of myself, right, before the Lord and in fear of him, reverence of him, and giving glory and honor to him, to give this juice today that I hope will encourage you and inspire you. Now, the Bible verse of today is Matthew 5:10. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Oh, well, this evening. I hope you all enjoyed this juice. I pray that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And yeah, I look forward to talking to y'all on Monday if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice. Hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Yes, be on the lookout, y'all, for new content and things of that nature under my new title, brand, whatever you want to say, Cultivation Coach Miracle. Yes, we'll still have God, Sex, and Love. That'll still be doing its thing as well. But yeah, new things on the horizon, man. I saw this video, another thing that was kind of convicting me last night. It was showing like growth and maturity and what it looks like by showing what a caterpillar starts off at in its process of becoming a butterfly. And I felt like, again, the Lord was speaking to me. And so, like I said, before I went to bed, I was like, Lord, give me the wisdom, what you want to do about this and all this type of stuff. And so I felt led to go forth. And so, yes, Cultivation Coach Miracle it is. And much, much more to come. We're going to see what else the Lord do. But I'm going to do my best to go with God, and I hope that you guys are encouraged and inspired to do so too. So y'all have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to y'all on Monday at the Lord's will. Bye.